siamo noi, I campioni di Europa siamo noi, siamo noi, siamo noi, I campioni di Europa siamo noi. Oh man, I'm still singing that. It's been not even a week and I'm still doing that. So thanks everyone for joining us today. Christian here, joined with my friend Jonathan, and of course we got to talk about the Euro 2020 finals between Italy and England. And we all know how it is because we are campioni di Europa. Oh my God, I can't believe it. First time since 1968. I can't believe it. So it's astounding. So I'm still like, I know most of us are probably still partying out there somewhere. Most of us are still feeling the shock of it, but man, it feels good now to finally see our team win Euro. Quick thing too, it's funny because after the game there's actually something that was posted and it's someone's step nonno. He's 101 now, so he was alive and he witnessed Italy's triumphs in all the years they have won, 34, 38,
Wow.
60. Every year that they've won a major trophy, he's been alive to see it, and he's 101 and got to see them win their second European trophy.
It's
That's
amazing.
that
Did have
that's
to do
crazy. That is crazy. So we will talk about a little bit about the teams before, like how we're talking about a bit about the game and just overall aspects of the tournament. So before we even talk about the game, let's go just a couple key notes here. Golden Boot went to Cristiano Ronaldo, Serie A player, of course, just edging out Patrick Schick by an assist. Very close debate. I kind of feel like Schick deserved it. I think he only scored like one penalty compared to Ronaldo, anyways, just with the assist, getting Ronaldo with that. But best goal of the tournament went to Schick for his goal against Scotland, which I feel is well deserved, even though we were treated to a lot of great goals. Would you have put that though as your top goal?
To be quite honest, I don't think there's not even a fair competition right there. It's him. That's it. There's no other choice. That's an easy competition to win. Easy contest to
Like
win.
I know even if he tried it again, it won't be like, again, he probably wouldn't be able, but it's one of those where it's like you've tried it out of 10 times, you can get it once. It's that fact that you get it once,
Extremely rare.
right? We've seen all these cut in and curls, like there were plenty of those, some nice passing plays, but that definitely for me was goal of the tournament. Not goalkeeper of the tournament, sorry, Golden Glove belonged to Jordan Pickford with 5 clean sheets and 2 goals against. So credit for him for a solid defense as well. And surprising, England actually made it all the way with 5 clean sheets and 1 goal going into the finals, which is actually incredible. And that goal also coming from a dead ball situation from the free kick. So that is recent a surprise considering their lack of defense in recent years. Player of the tournament goes to Gigio Donnarumma for his spectacular saves, 3 clean sheets as well, and he only made 10 saves all tournament. He wasn't tested at all.
But remember what I told you at the beginning of the videos that when we started recording, your defensive system is very good too, right? And it
Exactly.
helps
Yes.
because Italy likes to have the ball. So the more you have the ball, the less you're going to be attacked. And since
Exactly.
you have a world class goalie, whenever he's activated, he will be there. He's going to respond.
And he did come up when he had to. So
Exactly.
again, like you said, they had the ball. They knew how to play defense, but also play defense while attacking as well, keeping the ball away from their net. So that's a good way of not getting it near your net.
Guardiola style.
All right. So as we know, Italy went on to win after penalty shootouts, with the game finishing 1-1 as a draw. Goals from Scialberto Carlos. I don't know how you feel about that one. And then Lito Bonucci getting the equalizer in the second half. And then again, Italy winning in penalty shootouts 3-2. Goals in the shootouts were scored by Berardi, Bernardeschi, and oh my God, I'm forgetting the last one now. Belotti, because I know Belotti missed, Jorginho missed. Bonucci. Bonucci scored during the
Bonucci
game
scored,
and,
yes.
and, and scores in the shootout. And then we know England missed 3. Saka, Sancho, and Rashford, with all of them, I believe, being substitutes as well. Sancho and Rashford coming later on in the extra time just for the shootouts. Harry Kane and Maguire scoring the penalties. Gigio Donnarumma saving the last penalty and just walking off calm, cool, and collected. But it's funny, he even said he didn't realize they had won
That
because
video, that video at the end was very. Of course, you've watched the video, right?
yeah,
A whole squad of Italy coming
just
towards him,
going.
and he's not understanding what's going on, and they started screaming and celebrating, and like just a switch turned on his head, and oh,
And
okay, now I can
we won.
celebrate. What? It's amazing.
And that's the thing. No one can celebrate right away. And because you were watching the game, like we were watching the game together. And I even said to you, like, he wasn't sure because of what happened
The
with
VAR, yeah,
Sommer in France. He had to delay his celebrations because,
sure,
again, goalies nowadays have to have one foot on the
on the
line.
line.
So let's talk a little bit about this now. So England got off to the better start. Shaw scoring within the second minute. First time Italy concede first all game. So that definitely shook them up. It definitely wasn't something they're used to and really had to change in the game. But the one thing too is we probably noticed, and I've heard like after seeing it a bit over and over, is that it's like England as soon as they got the goal, it's like, okay, job is done. Let's defend. But it's like you have a whole game. It's not like you did it in the last 2 minutes of the game. You did it in the first 2 minutes of the game. You had a whole game to go, and you don't expect Italy to come out and attack. This is the one thing. If England really wanted to win, because they're known for playing that high tempo, attacking, physical type of football. If they really wanted to win, they should have just kept going and kept going on the front foot because Italy were shook. They within that first 10, 15 minutes, you can tell Italy couldn't get anything together at all there.
So the thing, analyzing the game afterwards and watching some other stuff and reading about it, um, if you check every single match that England has played, two things can be highlighted per se, two main characteristics per se. The first is the high intensity on the first 15 to 20 minutes of every single game. All the time they're gonna go basically all in per se on the first 20 minutes of each match. And differently from Italy, on my opinion, when it comes to talented players and skillful players against one-on-one and dribbling and in situations like that, I think that England has a better repertoire. However, tactically speaking, England doesn't actually have a way of playing. They don't have okay, this is our signature. Italy does have it, and Italy also does know how to adapt itself to situations. The thing with England is that instead of them imposing a way of playing, they play differently on every single match. They're gonna see, okay, I'm playing against A, B, C, or D, and based on that, Southgate will configure the team to play against that formation that he's gonna face on the next match. So that's what happened with Italy. They used the physicality, as you mentioned, for the first 15, 20 minutes. They opened the they did something very similar to what Spain did to Italy on the semifinals, and that was the only match on which Italy actually lost tactically, saying. And what they did was they used Harry Kane to be almost like not necessarily a pivot between the wingers. So you would have a 5-3-2 formation, and this transition from one side to the other, from Trippier to Shaw. Sometimes they would use Harry Kane to find either Mount or Sterling, if I'm mistaken, yes, Mount or Sterling, and because Saka didn't play, and by doing that, with the Sterling, Mount, and Kane in the middle, they would force Italy's defense system to follow them and to make to allow the field to be broader, so they could transport the ball and cross the ball, and that's exactly how the goal happened. Everything was happening on the right side, and they activated Kane. Kane found Trippier on the right side, and if you see the picture from the top, on the right side of the Italian defensive system, it was Shaw and another player. I don't remember who it was.
I feel Kane got brought in. Well, I know
no,
Kane
and Sterling had two players each on them, but
yes.
on the left side, there were two other English players coming with no marking whatsoever, and that's how Shaw got the ball. And
That's why too.
almost
Yeah,
almost 4 or 5 minutes after, the same thing happened. Sterling activated Trippier, if I'm mistaken, and they almost scored a second goal. And then that was it.
yeah.
They stopped. They
That's the
didn't do
thing.
anything else.
It's like as if they, like I said, as if they, just like, okay, job's done kind of thing. But like you were saying too, Southgate examines his opponents and comes prepared into the games, and that's exactly what he did. He went into a different formation because he went with the 3-4-3 rather than the four at the back. He brought in Trippier and Shaw on the wings, then he put Walker at the back. So he did change the formation to really kind of reinforce that midfield with Phillips and Declan Rice in there, cause the issues, because it did take a while for Italy to get that started. And really, yeah, that first half, it was, like you said, troubling for Italy to really keep up with that. But Mancini did his magic, worked well in the second half, managed to get his team going, more attacking. But Chiesa was probably the best player, especially in the first half for Italy, always trying to cause problems. You even remember England players were trying to take him down, pull him down, but they just couldn't keep up with him. He had the one shot just going by Pickford as well. And then Bonucci later on in the second half scored in the scramble in the box. We'll take a goal whichever way we can get, right? Italy definitely grew into the game, played much better, and did seem like they were getting there, but there were times where they couldn't just get the right pass, because there were times where England really had 11 men behind the ball, because there were times I would see Kane in his own half, and Italy were just playing between Bonucci, Chiellini, Di Lorenzo, Emerson. They're just playing between those back four. So that did cause Italy some issues when they couldn't break up front when they had the players up front, because everyone was back from England.
What happened again, a little bit similar to what happened against Spain, is that Jorginho didn't know who to mark, and he's the one who starts the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't know whether he would be marking Mount or Kane. So what happened was that Mancini realized that, and instead of having a midfielder of three players, he would have two and bring Barella and Chiesa and Insigne a little bit more to the center of the field, and bring Verratti closer to Jorginho. So by doing that, they could start the plays a little bit easier. And with Di Lorenzo covering the right side, Emerson could attack a little bit more. And when you do that, when you suffocate more, and Verratti comes closer to the defensive side, Phillips has to follow him, right? So when he does that, Insigne, again, the same way that he did with Belgium, he can fluctuate on that. He can float around that area behind the defensive midfielders from England, and from there he can start doing what he does best. It's like terrorizing players, because he's very fast and difficult to stop.
And like you even said, Italy always able to adapt, knowing who their opponents. Mancini kind of knows who to bring on, what they need. And I was even thinking too, I'm like, you brought on Cristante instead of someone like Pessina, but it kind of worked in Italy's favor. So
it did.
And like honestly, we as fans, like, we always want the best players on, but I guess sometimes not the. Okay, Italy's also a team not made up of superstars per se, right? There are superstars in the making kind of thing. No, like, okay, there are great players, but you know what I mean? Like, they're not completely made of superstars, but you would think like Cristante, he's not the best player on the team. He's not like, he's an average midfielder, does his job. But he came on and he did his job. That's what he needed. He actually made a decent impact in that midfield. Hey, at least we can also say a Canadian won the Euro too.
Yes. and we won today too, 4-1 against Haiti.
Yes.
Copa Oro, Golden
yes,
Cup.
Gold Cup, yes.
And if you actually realize, you mentioned Cristante, when Berardi and Cristante get into the game, what Mancini does, he basically just use Insigne as the 9, and now you have 5 attacking players that will mark in depth, right? They're like right inside of, basically, they're like, okay, like England is gonna ask themselves like, what these guys are doing here? They're too close to us, right?
Yeah.
So they had one player for every single player on England's defensive system, and Kane was by himself basically. And the person who was the player who was starting the plays now instead of Bonucci, oh sorry, instead of Jorginho was Bonucci. Bonucci
Yes.
in the it was like he was in the middle of the field. He's starting the game with Chiellini, and from there, with the possession, the goal was just something to that would ultimately happen, and that's what happened.
And that's the thing. Bonucci is also known for playing like these deep balls in. He knows how to send a long ball forward. He knows how to hit the pass. So if you can not get Jorginho out, but like kind of pull Jorginho out of the way, and that allows Bonucci to be the new creator, because it makes like the England, okay, we got to mark Jorginho. He's the most dangerous player, but that gives Bonucci now the freedom to pass out there, to pass straight forward. Gives him the time to hit someone. And like you said, Insigne going to the 9 because Immobile was actually useless in that match once again. Feel like, honestly, such a good striker, but can't catch a break with the Uzudi. Like he can't. Like, but I don't know if it's just the opponents marking him or just not the type of same service he gets at Lazio, but he just can't catch a break. So
He's the bad version of Shaka, because Shaka plays well for Switzerland, but when it comes to Arsenal,
Arsenal
I think he's on his fourth season now, if I'm not
on his
mistaken.
way. I want to say he's on his way
Now
out as well.
he's going to Roma. Yeah, why? Like he's valued now because he played well, right? But
Yes.
he never actually happened there. He never actually delivered what we know that he can deliver, and we saw.
And then even though Bonucci, Belotti is also a known goal scorer as well. Even though he didn't score, he did bring something else, because he's a guy who will drop back, get the ball, carry it up, pass it. He'll work to get the ball. He's one of the guys who will like really bother the defenders. Right? Immobile, okay, yeah, will try to get the pass, but he's more of that like poacher-esque type of forward. While Belotti, I keep saying Bonucci. Belotti again will charge down the defenders. Will go in and slide like for the ball. He'll go back and defend. He's a harder working forward who will actually drop back and try to send Insigne or Chiesa, depending wherever he is, try to attack the play from lower deep. So Mancini also did that to start the game, to not start the game, but also change the game as well to try to open up England's defense. And it kind of worked in some ends, as we were getting closer opportunities as well. Again, it just ended not happen enough, and we had to bring the game to extra time. But in extra time too, it did seem like no one wanted to lose, and at the same time no one wanted to make the extra effort, not make the extra effort, but too scared to attack in case they fall for the counter kind of thing, which we see a lot in shootouts as well.
As on every single video, there is a point on which I completely disagree with you.
That's fine.
With the substitutions, you saw Saka come into the game, you saw Sancho come into the game, not Rashford, but like especially these two.
Sancho and Rashford were also late on in extra time.
Yes, but Saka got into the
earlier. But Sancho was coming in for
no, I know for the penalty shootouts. But what I'm trying to say is that Southgate actually tried to go back to have a little bit more possession, and throughout the overtime, they created some things here and there, but not enough, because they basically, for the first 75 to 80 minutes of the match, they ran after the ball, and they were tired, and there was nothing more that they could do. And then I think that mentality, even though you can have a coach on the side of the pitch say, hey guys, let's make it happen, let's attack, the guys, they just want to like get over with, and like make sure that none of them will do anything crazy that's gonna jeopardize the competition to that point, right?
Because
let's just go for the penalties.
Yeah. Because I say that is true, because you could see in some players too, you could see the fatigue later on in some of the England players as well. So that's true. They didn't want to take that extra risk as well. But yeah, like you said, trying to change stuff up with Saka, it was definitely different for Southgate. He was trying to get in there. Speaking of Saka, one of the incidents involving the games, and I don't know if you've heard this, that over 100,000 people have signed this petition to have England-Italy replayed because they believe Chiellini should have been sent off when he pulled down Saka.
People don't know how to lose, do they?
No.
That's all I can say. Like, this is like one thing is you having a technical issue. For instance, what happened yesterday for Libertadores? Yesterday? Tuesday. Tuesday. Yes. Fluminense and San Lorenzo or someone. I don't remember the team. I think it was San Lorenzo. I don't remember. They won the game 2-0, right? And the game was away. And at Libertadores, still the away goal, it
counts.
it counts to untie some kind of qualification, right? For Champions League, it won't happen anymore. But it's still a thing in South America. And there was a situation on which the Fluminense player, was clearly giving the opportunity to the other team to attack, and they wouldn't be offside. There was the auxiliary referee. He whistled, he gave the offside. VAR verified everything, and they said it was offside when it wasn't. Also, on that, there are complaints, and the match might actually be replayed.
Wow.
But that's a technical issue coming from the professionals, right? You have the machine. The machine showed you, the technology showed you that it wasn't offside, and even though you decided
a clear and obvious error,
it was clear. It wasn't something that was, it's 5 centimeters. No, it was like half a foot to a foot, But that kind of stuff that you just said is like just give them a lollipop and tell them to
and it's funny because I just wanted to rewatch that whole situation again just to see. And at the same time, I'm looking at him like, Saka was near the halfway line by the touch line. He was near there. There was Bonucci and was it Di Lorenzo or Emerson? Whoever it was, just in that middle, maybe Di Lorenzo. So it's not like Saka was clear on goal. It was a tactical foul by Chiellini, which is, he knew he wasn't going to catch Saka at all. And what did he decide to do? Pull him down. It's a yellow card. So I don't know what people are saying.
We even discussed this, or when he hit Saka, right? When we were watching the match together. Yeah, we were watching. We said, like, we know that this is not a red card situation.
No, it's a smart foul.
It's a smart foul, period. It's a yellow card for sure, but red card not in the middle.
No, it's not a clear and obvious error. So nothing given there. But it's just like, that's when people, again, like you said, just don't know how to lose, are very salty, and especially that it's England. It's like, they just didn't want to lose. The other incident in that game as well happened I think it was extra time as well. They're saying Jorginho's, a lot of people are in mixed feelings about this, is Jorginho should have been sent off when he had stomped on Grealish. But he stepped on the ball as Grealish slid in. His foot slipped off the ball and stopped. What do you want him to do?
No, I remember that. I think it was on the first half even. Not sure though.
No, I don't think it was the first half. I know it was later, maybe second half. Maybe, or extra time.
Not I'm sure.
But you remember he stepped on the ball.
Remember. Yeah. Like, it was more of a he was a little bit reckless, yes, but he wasn't enough for him to get sent off.
Like I said, he stepped on the ball, but as Grealish slid in, that made him lose his footing on the ball. Like, it's not like he actually purposely stepped on Grealish's leg, but.
And just before anyone comes and say, "Oh my gosh, Jonathan just said these things because he was watching the match," I was cheering for England at the beginning of the game. So for me, if the guy, in my opinion, if I feel like the player has to be sent off, I will say it. So here, there's no jibber jabber about bias opinion. It's just what it is, and that's it.
But otherwise, I feel the referee, he did a great job throughout the match.
Yes,
he did an excellent job. It's probably. Okay, there's a couple incidents throughout the tournament, not very much, but overall, I feel it's a well officiated Euro 2020. Yeah. There aren't many complaints. There's maybe the few decision, but
I don't remember any kind of like a grave situation that calls
some people I think are saying the red card for the Sweden, the Sweden-Ukraine game, where the player was sent off for the high boot. But because it's like,
you're forcing too much right now. I don't remember anymore.
But anyway, some people are saying that, and there's the iffy penalty calls as well, We even know the one with Sterling as
Oh
well.
yeah, I think that was the biggest one by far. Biggest one
Yes.
by far. Even though
And
England
we
played better and deserved winning.
Yes, that's true. They did deserve the win, but it's funny, even someone like Gary Neville too is like, in a million years, that's never a penalty, but I don't care.
Yeah, but at least like he acknowledges it's that's the beauty, and that's the fine line between being a fan and love something and still trying to be fair.
Hmm.
He knows that something was wrong. He knows that, he knew that, and he acknowledged that, but he's still English. He's still British, and he wants his team and his nation to succeed. So I can, like, for me, that's an amazing trait. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
judge the guy ever.
And I know there was a couple times Sterling actually tried to go down in the Italy area when he was competing with Bonucci and Chiellini. At least the ref, for sure, smart, no call. He did his job there. So,
Yes.
that's what he needed to do. Then we went to shootouts, very tight. England never had the best luck through shootouts. Donnarumma coming up big in the shootouts as well. Jorginho would have been one of the first people, I think, to score the winning shootout penalty in the semis and the finals. But then Pickford actually came up with a big save, so that kudos to him. But then I just feel bad for Rashford, Sancho, and Saka. For most of you, you've all heard it. They've been receiving abuse for the skin color because they missed their penalties. I would like to see you people who are complaining about the skin color of you shooting in a Euro 2020 finals against these professionals in front of a crowd of 60,000 people. I would like to see you do that. These kids do not deserve the abuse. Rashford helping out all these people during the pandemic, feeding homeless people. Saka, 19 years old, who has a full career ahead of him. By doing that, like, they even tweeted out, I was already expecting the abuse. What kid has to think about already receiving abuse for the stuff that they have done? Like, it's absurd.
I was having this conversation before we started recording, and as I said to Christian, I'm gonna tell you guys too. I'm far from a social justice warrior, but I hate unfairness and I hate injustice in general. So whenever I see things like that, I just want to get a little. Sorry, YouTube, but I just wanted to get like a beautiful piece of hardwood and beat on some people that deserve. These people,
And
they
then
not cannot even be called people or fans or, oh, I love football. No, no, no. You deserve to be in jail. That's what you deserve.
And even speaking of England fans, like, I was even showing you before the game too, the amount of craziness in the stadium.
Yeah.
Italian fans being like, not fought over, being beat up. Kids going to the game saying to their parents, "I want to go home," because they're scared. What type? And then fans who didn't have tickets were breaking into the stadium. Some were bribing the stewards to get into the game. What type of fans are these? And this is why too. Again, I don't hate England. I don't hate the team. They have great players, but it's the fan part of one reason I just don't like them. One part is the fans. The fans are reasons why they're the disgrace, like part of the hooligans. They're absolutely absurd. They give football a bad name. Treating people like that, throwing abuse like that, trying to create stuff like that. We even saw people spitting and other stuff on the Italian flag on the floor. Like, they're booing the national anthem. What type of fans are these? Like, it's just I keep saying absurd, but it's more than absurd. It's ridiculous.
On situations like that, I don't blame a nation, or I know that it's not what you're doing, but it's very easy for you to antagonize just one group of people or a sample. But we see that in Italy with the ultras as well.
Hmm.
We saw that happening with, like, abuse happening with Balotelli, for instance. We see things like that happening in Germany. We see people killing each other in Turkey. We see that in Brazil. I remember the last time that my team, I'm Flamengo fan, in 2017, we were in two different finals: the Brazilian Cup and the Sul America Cup, or Sud America Cup. The Sud America is just like the South America version of Europe League, right? We lost both finales, and on Sud America Cup, it was basically our fan base. There was no away fans. It was only us. and some fans, they got in conflicts with the police. They got in conflict with different types of organized fan bases from the same team. They broke Maracanã to the core.
Wow.
So it's not just England, it's everywhere. On you have human beings, you're gonna have assholes, and you're gonna have good people, period.
One other part of England that I don't like is the media, who blow their team. Again, England had a great team. They had their best run in years. Kudos to them. I'm not trying to downplay them too, but right. But it's the media as well who kind of
It doesn't
overhype
help.
them.
Doesn't help.
It doesn't help. And to me, I'm gonna say it. We've said it. I've said it before. Some of my friends say it. We all say it. And for you, those of you hockey fans here in Canada or America, wherever you want, England is the equivalent of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Media hypes them up, fans hype them up, always saying this is our year, and they just come to disappoint. And I'm even a Leafs fan, and I'm already expecting disappointment come every year. Even they always have the best players. They say they play in the NHL. There's only really one hockey league, to be honest, but it's the worst market to play in because there's always these expectations, always these hype. But then again, you're left with disappointment. But kudos to England. This is the farthest they've done since their finals in '66, really, as far as I can remember, unless they've
different from Maple Leafs, right?
Yeah. Hey, the last time the Leafs won is '67, so close enough.
Yeah, but what I mean, at least they get there. You know, like they got to the semifinals of 2018, England. I mean, they got to the finale
Finals
this Sunday. So, come on, Leafs.
Yeah,
You have to be better to become England.
I was gonna say the Leafs can't even make past the first round in 11 years, so that's something else. They can't even win a playoff series. That's another story. But anyways, yes, like I said, kudos to them. Let's go back. We can go back and forth anyways, but let's go back on Italy quickly. Mancini, like we said, has done an excellent job with this win over England as well. It's 34 games now unbeaten. He's one more away from equaling the all-time record with Spain at 35. Their next two games are Bulgaria and Switzerland for World Cup qualifiers. But Mancini, excellent coach. He ended Sampdoria's trophy drought. I think he won a Scudetto with them, if I'm not mistaken.
With Sampdoria?
It was either that or a Coppa Italia. It was a trophy
Coppa
drought.
Italia. When did Sampdoria won Calcio? Over the last 20 years?
I feel like it was the 90s. I could be wrong, but I know they did end their trophy drought. He ended Lazio's trophy drought as well. They did win the Scudetto in 2000, 2001. It was near the close to the new millennium. He ended Inter's Scudetto drought as well. He ended Man City's title drought, and now he ended Italy's Euro trophy drought. The guy just knows how to win too. But then he has really changed again. I've even said it to you before. He knows how to adapt. He's changed the definition of the way Italy plays. Yes, it's still a bit of Catenaccio as well, but it's the more attacking version of a Catenaccio.
For me, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, he's just really exemplified expectations, brought above and beyond. Feel great, especially with Gianluca Vialli, who he wanted part of his staff as well after surviving cancer and being a former teammate of Mancini at Sampdoria as well. Oh, no, that's probably why I remember, because Mancini won the Scudetto with Sampdoria as a player. That's probably why I remember that.
1991.
Yes. See, I remember it was in the 90s, but not as it wasn't as a coach.
Was another
as a coach.
No, it wasn't during the last 20 years either.
Yeah, but I did say the 90s though. Sure. I did say 90s. And then there was the video of De Rossi, part of the staff. You probably saw it as well, doing a slip and slide on the table in the dressing room too. You could tell he was excited as well. Yeah, I think it was even. Sorry, go ahead.
I liked I just had an idea to head right now. So basically, again, Mancini is the good version of Maple Leafs. You didn't have any expectations, and you actually ended up winning.
Well, I guess if you want to put it that way. There was something else I was going to say. There was something else about Italy now. I honestly have
next video.
Definitely, definitely. They definitely we'll see how they do come around. Definitely lots to talk about, especially with World Cup coming next year. Italy have to qualify for this one, especially now being European champions. There are a lot more expectations, I would say. But considering they just released the odds to win the World Cup, Italy sit
Oh,
third, as far as I
what is the
remember.
ranking? What is the rank? I don't know. So who's the first? Belgium?
No, take a guess.
Oh, it's still Brazil?
No,
England.
I was England.
Oh, okay.
England,
Yeah, it
England
kind of
have.
makes sense. It kind of makes sense. I wouldn't put them in first, but I would put them top four.
I think Italy was third, with I think France or Belgium being second.
Mm.
But you would think maybe Italy would be a little closer because of now, but again, it's a World Cup, so there's more countries, of course, Argentina, Brazil,
Uruguay. Maybe some
maybe
African team can like create some
surprise us.
headache too. Who
Who
knows?
knows how if Canada can surprise a few Alfonso
No,
Davies
no,
and
no, no, no,
Jonathan.
no. Stop using heavy drugs. Going to getting too high now. Don't do hyped up. Don't push. Come
Hey,
on.
I gotta
They could
have some.
use if they could use hockey players, maybe. No.
Slash some shin pads with their sticks,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Imagine these guys playing against soccer players, like the theatrics that happen with soccer players.
Hey, the hockey players do actually do keep ups as warm ups in the hallways in the arenas too. If you knew that,
Mm.
before they get on the ice, they just kick a ball around for a warm up.
Huh. Didn't have a clue
So
about that.
yeah, you learn something new every day about something, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was a great tournament. I would want to say Italy exceeded a lot of expectations. I don't think anyone had them up there. I was even talking to you about this. Again, watch it. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Twitter by an account, Italy Propaganda. He basically just tweets out to make sure Italy is known that, it's like I was saying about how the odds were. Like he would be like, you would think Italy, he's trying to get the Italy known more, well, little more respected. So he actually put together a video of all these people talking bad about Italy before the finals, before the tournament, after the finals, and what people were saying. So again, like I said, how what Vieira was saying, Gary Neville, uh, Ferdinand, how they were all talking about England, but then you had Switzerland we beat Switzerland, and Switzerland knocking out his France team. England, again, did it anything? Neville saying something about. Anyways, I can't remember about that, but there's lots of stuff. Check out the video. It's like a 2-minute video. England fans being England fans, especially on the subway, singing "Now stick your calzone up your ass." So, but I don't even know.
That
Do
is
you know?
that
Do you know
is
what?
for me that is valid. That is valid. I don't
But
have
do you know?
I don't see a problem with that. The same way that you can tell them to stuck their fish and fries on their asses too. You know what I mean? The same thing.
I
The
was gonna
same.
say I don't know what a calzone is. Like, what is that? And then this guy, this is the best I find. He said, if England lost, he's like, I wouldn't like, they don't like me use that. If England lost, or if this was a league format,
Oi!
right? If this was a
Oh,
league
that
format,
guy made me mad.
England would have more points, and if points were awarded after 90 minutes, England would have more points. The way he was calculating it was completely off, because I think the way he was calculating, he was giving it 3 points for a win after 120 minutes and only a point for shootout win. I don't know,
Even
but
comparing those, it's impossible for you to compare those two things. There's completely different situation scenarios. And that's just basically like a male version of a British Karen that doesn't know how to lose. Period. That's all.
and it's funny because if you really think about it, they both have the same amount of points, 4 wins and 3 draws in that sense, right? Because after 90 minutes, it's considered a draw. Italy is final, so that's before counted as a loss for England. It's technically a draw, whatever. Same points, 4 wins, 3 draws, whatever. But if it was a league, England would still have to play Spain, still have to play England, probably play freaking France. Who knows? And that's what the Nations League is for. That's what qualifiers are for.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
a league. I'm still
Dumb.
trying to. I'm.
The bother.
Oh,
The only
oh,
thing that I would say about Italian soccer and Italy itself, I've mentioned this to you already, and I've mentioned this here before, if I'm mistaken. if you guys can, you the viewers can watch as many Italian Calcio matches you can, go for it. It's for me right now, it's rivaling with the Bundesliga to be the second best. Maybe it's already the second best uh,
And
national league right now.
it's definitely improving, and we finally probably got like I said, a new winner this year. It's getting more competitive. For those of you who didn't know, 37 goals were scored from Serie A players at the Euros, the most from any of the top 5 leagues. So that's really showing something. No, most of Italy's players do play in the league, except for a few. Donnarumma now moving to PSG. You have Verratti at PSG,
Jorginho, Emerson.
at Chelsea. I think that's it.
Florenzi just got back to Roma.
Yes, he was out at PSG as well, but yeah, he just came back. But yeah, pretty much mainly everyone that was there plays in Serie A, and it's like I said, they're not made of superstars. But look at Lukaku had a pretty good tournament, Serie A. Ronaldo, Golden Boot, Serie A. You know,
Gozens
had the best time of his life with Germany at this Euros, especially against Portugal, wreaking some havoc. So definitely a lot to look out for. It's going to be a lot more interesting to see who else now Serie A can attract. I actually can't wait for the season. Definitely lots to talk about as well. And this just happened too, totally random, but just speaking of the leagues, because it just got announced today, July 14th, for those that you want a day, starting in the 22-23 season, green jerseys are banned in the league.
I saw that. Poor Sassuolo.
Poor Sassuolo. Like,
I understood the idea behind it. I just hope that was the last resort and there was nothing better. There was no other better option rather than that.
I can understand. Okay, maybe if it's a full neon whatever green, but Sassuolo are green and black. Like those are their colors. It's like saying for Milan to change the red and black, Inter to change the blue and black, Juve to change the white and black. It just doesn't work, kind of thing.
I don't know how they did the research or anything like that. I'm just trying to think about the other leagues and the teams that wear green, that have green as their basic color. They could have, I don't know how it was. Again, here I'm just like supposing things, but let's say Greek championship, you have Panathinaikos, you have Celtic in Scotland. So give these guys a call, ask how things are there. Like, are they being jeopardized economically because of the kit colors? You know,
I was actually sent this by a friend because I think it's going based off another league, because I don't know who decided to do this. I think it was a game in Turkey where they wore white jerseys in a snowstorm, like in the snow. So that's their fault.
Oh my gosh.
That's probably one reason. But put it this way too, even hockey, for example, because there's times I watch hockey, and depending on how white the jersey is, especially when it's the Winter Classic when they play outside, you can't, all you see is their helmets and the gloves. Like
there's nothing much you can do.
Like, tell me how that works out.
I don't know. Maybe Sassuolo will play, I don't know, somewhere else. Turkey, Cyprus.
But like I said, it's a mix of green and black, so I don't know how it kind of works out, but what do we know? We don't
even Lazio, like Lazio, I think last season's like their third kit was like a neon green or something.
Juve had one, Atalanta had one. There was another team I think had one as well. Milan had some type of green like years back, the Rastafari jersey-esque thing. Yeah, it wasn't a pretty jersey. It wasn't. No,
I didn't even know that.
The shorts were green, yellow, and like reddish. Yeah,
okay.
It was terrible.
Nope.
So, anyways, like I said, check out that one It's Italy propaganda video if you guys haven't seen it. It's definitely, I keep watching it because I find it hilarious. If you have any comments to say about the finals, Italy's performance, England's performance, be sure to let us know. If you guys did like that analogy of England being the equivalent of the Toronto Maple Leafs, if you agree, disagree, be sure to comment below, let me know. Thanks again, Jonathan, for joining me in this video. It's always fun to talk and have your perspective on things as well, especially coming from a neutral. in some senses as well.
I try my best, and sorry for the wrong grammar sometimes, guys. I just have to still get a little bit more used to using the football verbiage and translating from Portuguese to English in my mind. I'll get better.
Don't worry, it'll take some time, and we like when you have that. It makes it better sometimes. So otherwise, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Calcio_bros, for all latest transfer news, updates, and anything regarding Serie A. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, click the bell to receive the notifications on when our latest videos are released. And I hope to hear from you guys soon. Ciao!
Oh, yeah, yeah. Un coro azzurro